Okay, Key Stage 4 unit, keywords for bonding and structure. A material which contains charged particles, often electrons, right, which are free to move to carry electrical or thermal energy. So that as a material is a conductor, like a metal. A shared electrons, okay, between two nonmetals. Okay, so like carbon dioxide is two nonmetals, and what they do is they share their electrons, covalent bonding. A giant covalent structure which is made up of carbon. Each forms 4 covalent bonds with 4 other carbons, can only be diamond. The strong forces of attraction between oppositely charged ions. So if you've got a positive and a negative, they are electrostatic forces. The smallest whole number ratio of atoms of an element in a compound, so CO2, is its empirical formula. Okay, you don't often say empirical, okay, but it is the empirical formula. Stupid putting that in there. They are molecules of carbon atoms with hollow shapes. The structures are based on hexagonal rings of carbon atoms. Looks like a bit like a football, really. A fullerene. The state of matter where the particles have the most energy, so gas, liquid, solid. The particles in a gas are relatively spread out as a gas. A single layer of graphite with properties that make it useful in electronics. So graphite is graphene. A giant covalent structure is made up of carbon atoms where each forms 3 covalent bonds, not like diamond with 4, and with 3 other carbon atoms. That then makes your hexagons. Okay, so what you've got your hexagons, which have no covalent bonds between the layers. So what you have to have different layers, and each layer is graphene, and one layer, or the whole thing together, is graphite. An atom or molecule with an electric charge due to the loss or gain of electrons, so F- or Na+, is an ion. A metal atom loses electrons to form a positive ion, so Na+, to form a positive charged ion, and a non-metal gains electrons, so F-, and what they do is an ionic bond is formed between the oppositely charged ions. Okay, so that is an ionic bond. A chemical compound formed of ions held together by strong electrostatic forces is an ionic compound. The forces which exist between molecules, the strength of the intermolecular forces, impact physical properties like boiling point. So there's the intermolecular forces. Again, it's a bit stupid having that in there. The state of matter where the particles are arranged randomly and close together are unable to move past each other. So it's gas, liquid, solid, random, close together, it's got to be a liquid. The bonds present in metals between the positive metal ions and negatively charged electrons, metallic bonds. Elements that react to form positive ions, like Na+, Fe3+, found to the left and bottom of the periodic table, metals. The actual ratio of atoms of each element present in a compound, molecular formula. Elements that react to form negative ions found towards the top and the right, nonmetals. The theory which models the 3 states of matter by representing the particles as small solid spheres. Particles can help them explain melting, boiling, freezing and condensing is the particle theory. The state of matter where the particles hold regular arrangement and have the least amount of energy, solid. The symbols used in chemical equations to denote the states of chemical reactions, solid, liquid, gas and aqueous, which means aqueous, are the state symbols. Okay, there's a few there, right? A couple of them are easy because the actual answer's in the definition, which is a bit silly. All right, now what you're now going to do is you're now got to test yourself. So pause the video as you're now going through and write down your answers onto a piece of paper. Okay, now do the whole darn thing again, right? Make sure you're writing down the answers, and any you got wrong, make sure you focus on what was wrong. Okay, so well done. All right, hopefully you got them all right. Now what you've got to do then is you just got to remember at some point in the future, right, not too distant, you need to do it again, right, just when you're a bit bored.